everyone, how are we today? Just doing a quick all signs reading. We're going to be looking at the biggest challenges going on for you at the moment, and of course, some advice on how to overcome that challenge. What comes next, I suppose, the hope on the other side of the challenge there. Make sure you do leave a comment on the video so you can go in the draw for that free personal reading that's running all throughout November. So, when you do comment on a video, make sure you comment on all the ones throughout November, because each video will count towards extra entries. Okay, subscribe as well so you can stay up to date with that. Timestamps will be in the description box as we go through there. Today I'm going to be using the Dead Inside Oracle deck. Okay, this is a very dark humor kind of deck, a very interesting, fun kind of deck as well. I was just a bit annoyed I didn't get it in time for Halloween, but we also have the lunar lenormand. All right, so getting into it, starting off with Aries today. Like I said, timestamps in the description box. Okay. Aries, the biggest challenge in Aries at the moment, please. We've already had one flying out for you here, Aries. I'm just going to grab another. The biggest challenge for our Aries. What are the challenges Aries are facing, please? Anxiety or just too much coffee? Okay, look at that. That's a cute card. Restlessness, caffeine crash, paranoia. All right, so it's kind of asking you here, some of you definitely it is actually anxiety, but it's asking you to be very aware of, the effect of caffeine on that issue for yourself. And if you are someone like me and you do drink a lot of coffee, maybe you do need to chill it down a little bit at the moment. Okay, I'm picking up that for some of you, it's not just caffeine that's the issue. All right, I'm getting sugar highs coming through very strongly as well. But, is it anxiety or is it too much coffee? For a lot of you, it's this restlessness and paranoid kind of energy where you're just sort of very fidgety. For some of you too, it's not either of those. It's ADHD, okay? Not going to lie. But, it's kind of this energy of I need to be doing something. I'm like trying to do too much all at once. But we also have blocked AF coming through for you here, Aries. Cut off, disbelief, and avoidance. We picked up on this in the singles reading earlier in the week, with you being in a very avoidant energy at the moment, Aries. So it's still coming through as a bit of a challenge for you here, okay? So definitely needing to do what you need to do to come out of that energy, because especially with the anxiety, the overstimulated kind of energy there, and then the avoidant energy, they do clash quite a fair bit here. And you're kind of like, I need to do something, but I don't want to do anything. So it's kind of a bit clashing. So paying attention to that, Aries. How can Aries overcome these challenges, please? How can Aries overcome these challenges? Social. Okay, we have the garden coming through first here, Aries. That one didn't want to. The garden. Okay, so that is a very social energy that's meeting up with people that you can rely on. We have the anchor here, and especially too with I've got the anchor and the ship both coming through here. So this is definitely meeting up with somebody who helps keep you feel steady, someone that's part of your ship, part of your your little crew, I suppose, but someone that is reliable and dependable, that someone that you can depend on, and they can, that they will help keep you steady throughout this storm. So even if you're all over the place and avoiding things, that you kind of needing to kind of force yourself to meet up with these people, because their energy is going to help really calm it down a little bit for you there, Aries, and enable you to sort of set sail on a much calmer ocean kind of thing, that instead of because if we set sail on that journey when we're already in this this anxious, jumpy kind of avoidant energy where, we're going to oversteer that ship and we're going to drag ourselves into storm waters and things like that. Whereas when we've got that anchor person around us, it's much smoother sailing, all right, and we can start sort of going on, enjoying the ride a little bit more. And for some of you, you may need to travel somewhat to see this person, but it does talk about a person here with the garden. I am picking up on a person. It may even be a date for some of you. That is my traditional date card. So, overcoming the anxiety and overcoming that avoidance by, facing that avoidant energy a little bit, and choosing to meet up with somebody that does sort of calm the storm a little bit, calm calm the waters of yourself a little bit there, so that you can move forward in a much more flowing, steady kind of a way, Aries. Okay, so that's what we've got for you. You are more than welcome to check your other placements, of course. Make sure you leave a comment so you can go in the draw for that free personal reading. And we will move on over to our Taurus. Okay, Taurus, what's the challenges that the Taurus collective are facing? The challenges for our Taurus, please. Oh, Mercury did it. All right, so very, very apt, since we are in Mercury retrograde. We're actually in 5-planet retrograde at the moment. So we've got, a lot of blame can be put on Mercury right now. Okay, guys, blame the stars. Miscommunication, cosmic excuses, retrograde blame. All right, so just be very aware, though, of the miscommunications, and that you may be blaming things that are beyond your control. But so be a little bit aware of that. Are we, blaming things, or are we taking our responsibility for, what our part that we played in that miscommunication as well? I do get here a lot of tech issues coming through for you as well, Taurus, because we do have doom scrolling at 3 a.m. coming through as well. Insomnia, internet spirals, and anxiety loops. So you're kind of allowing yourself to get caught up in, and I'm especially picking up here that for some of you, you're having tech issues. All right. And that's why you kind of like getting yourself caught in these loops of like, I haven't been able to use my phone all day. So now it's like late at night. I've got to sit here and, go and check everything, because it's that what is it, the FOMO, the fear of missing out, that you kind of because you've had some tech issues earlier in the day, you then overdo it later on in the days, so it's leading you to kind of miscommunicate, mismatch, you maybe not being able to answer and emails or texts or phone calls earlier in the day because of tech issues, and then later in the day you're kind of like, oh, but I've got to catch up on everything, and then it all happens all over again the next day because you are tired and you frustrated very easily every time anything goes wrong, so it's taking you the whole day to sort of get through these little tech issues that you may be having throughout the day. So I'm just picking up on that very specifically for a lot of you there, Taurus. But how can Taurus overcome these challenges, please? Advice for Taurus to overcome their current challenges. Definitely getting miscommunication coming through there. Okay, so it's been pretty clear with you here, Taurus, because firstly we have the crossroads coming through, which is making a conscious choice here. All right, that using your free will, but it's the need to make a conscious decision, a conscious choice to stabilize yourself. We have the house and the anchor, which are both very strong energy of stability and stabilizing yourself. For some of you, there is a side note there of security issues, and maybe that's why we're having so many tech issues, that there's a security breach or something along those lines to do with your devices. So I'm picking up on that a little bit there as well. But you're needing to make a conscious decision to stabilize your schedule, basically, to stop allowing this crazy schedule of 3 a.m. doom scrolling to pull you down into the loop of it. where then you're going to experience even more miscommunications and issues, from that. You need to sort of stabilize that and make very conscious choices to, limit yourself when it comes to technology, especially at the moment, and really, really just stabilize your energy and stabilize your sleeping. I feel is very important for you at the moment as well, because, we see references to Mercury here as well as the 3 a.m. reference. I feel like a lot of you are having issues sleeping at the right times, and so it's making things harder for you. You're getting stuck in this loop of, you stay up all night and then you sleep in all day, and, you're really just needing to be a little bit harder on yourself about, I need to make the conscious choice to fix that pattern before it sort of gets out of control and has this butterfly effect of other issues in my life because I can't get up early enough to sort life out, kind of thing. So just be aware of that, Taurus. Nothing really huge, not a huge challenge, to be honest. It's better than what I imagine a lot of these messages are going to be. But make sure you do leave a comment so you can go in the draw for that free personal reading. And we will move on over to a Gemini. All right. Gemini, what are the challenges that Gemini are currently facing, please? What challenges are, I want to say headed your way, Gemini, rather than current challenges. I feel like they're, you're almost on top of them. They're almost here, but you're maybe not quite for a lot of you yet. Gemini, challenges for our Geminis. Vanished while meditating. Letting your mind drift too much at the moment, Gemini. Mind fog, awareness collapse. Yeah, so, you're just allowing your thoughts to run away with you a little bit here, and create confusion within your own self because your thoughts are sort of spiraling out of control a little bit. And for some of you, it's kind of the opposite, that you just can't keep a solid thought in your head right now because, look at this. You're holding your head here once again with too many dings, not enough peace. So you're trying to meditate, but it's vanished. As soon as you try to meditate, it vanishes because ding, 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 ring, ring, Gemini, I need your help, Gemini. Oh, this was happening to me the other day. I'm not going to lie. Fragmented focus, tech burn. So it may be time to turn the phone on silent for some of you here, but it's kind of like you are just getting overwhelmed and you've just got so much going on around you, and asking of your energy and, asking for your thoughts seem to be very heavy in this energy here as well. The way that you're thinking about things, your perspectives, people sort of asking a lot, needing you and your advice and your thoughts and whatnot. And it's so every time you're trying to calm down and find that peace and meditate or whatever, things start going crazy again, and you just can't find that spot of stillness. And it's creating a lot of confusion just in your thought processes, and the overthinking is just sort of spiraling out of control here. Okay, Gemini, how can Gemini overcome these obstacles, these challenges, please? How can Gemini overcome these challenges? For some reason here, we're seeing look to the past or a past person. We have the mice coming through here, which does talk about things eating away at your energy and, the past losses that you've had in your energy here, past losses, past things that have been sort of taken from you. Because it's coming out with the bear, I feel like this is looking to the past for a kind of answer onto the boundaries that you need to set around yourself at the moment. The bear is very strong and powerful and, independent and does nurture positive energy, but that's also followed by the letter, so communication and expression. So I do feel as though there's an answer for you here in how to overcome these challenges through looking to the past. And I'm actually picking up for a lot of you that it's, it's something completely different in the past, that it's like, it's not the exact same situation in the past, but the way that you've dealt with something in the past, when you've, lost focus, you're needing to look to that for an idea on what sort of boundaries and how to set up those boundaries around yourself now, and how to express that you need some space, that you need some silence, you need a break, that you're just too overwhelmed with all the thinking, because it's a lot of headspace energy here, a lot of thoughts racing around here. So it's like in the past when you haven't been able to find quiet, how have you created that for yourself? It seems to be very specifically an answer for you here, something to do with something in the past. For some of you, it's like someone in the past that's no longer in your life, but how did they, like your observation of how did they create space for themselves when they needed it? And there might actually be a really good like example for you here somewhere in the past on how to create that, to stand up for yourself and create those boundaries around yourself and how to express that, look, there's too much overwhelming me right now. I need to stop and calm down. So maybe looking to the past for answers there. It's not really wanting to be more specific than that, Gemini. So you may want to check one of your other placements as well. But do leave a comment on the video so you can go in the draw for that free personal reading. And we will move on over to our Cancers. Okay. Cancer. What are the challenges facing Cancer right now? What challenges does Cancer need to focus on, please? I'm drawing two of these cards, and they're all going very well hand in hand as I'm seeing them. Faking confidence again. Okay. Insecurity, pretense, and self-doubt coming through with the social battery at 0. All right, which is drained, antisocial, and shut down. So, that's why you're kind of having to put on this pretense of everything's fine. Like, look at this one. Look at this guy here with his little party hat on, even though he doesn't, he's sitting at the bar with his party hat on. He's got a drink, but his social battery's at 0. He doesn't want a bar of it. But what he's doing is he's standing up and facing the music anyway. He's standing up, trying not to panic, even though he's shaking and bored and doesn't want a bar of it. He's still giving it a go. He's faking it until he makes it, kind of thing. So even though he's got a lot of insecurities and self-doubts, he's feeling very antisocial and drained and shut down, he's still kind of showing up anyway. All right. And so I feel like that's kind of what's going on for you at the moment, that you feel like you're having to force it a little bit at the moment, that you're having to fake it a little bit, because right now you're just not there. You're just not wanting a bar of it all kind of energy here, Cancer. But you are kind of already trying to kind of fake it a little bit here. But we'll see what advice you're going to get to overcome this challenge. See if you're doing the right thing by standing up anyway and facing it anyway. Cancer. How can Cancer overcome these challenges, please? We do see the Bear coming through first for you. Now, the Bear is a very strong, confident energy, but you're not necessarily using that confidence and that strong energy here, that strength, for faking it at the moment, Cancer. You do seem to be needing to nurture yourself and put up some boundaries around yourself. Healthy boundaries. They don't need to be, gigantic big walls around you here. But we do also see here the Crossroad and the Tower. So that's kind of saying that, look, you're needing to make this, put up these boundaries around yourself to make the conscious choice that, look, I just need some alone time. I need to go off into isolation and recharge my batteries a little bit right now. I'm sort of picking up just this energy of when we're nurturing healthy boundaries, we're telling people that's what we're doing, so people don't worry about us, okay? So for some reason, it does feel important, Cancer, to make sure you're letting people know that, look, I just need some time. I just need to isolate myself for a few days, recharge my batteries, and then I'll be able to pop back out, okay? But I just feel like this, it just feels important that you need to actually, communicate. It does feel like you do need to communicate that with that bear energy there, that you do need to make sure you're letting people know that that's what you're doing, because otherwise they're just going to keep asking of you, come show up, Cancer. So you're just going to have to vocalize that one a little bit, Cancer, but definitely making the conscious choice to, the decision to self-isolate for a little bit there. You just need to, be like Superman and go off into your fortress of solitude so that you can take on the world again. All right, that's what we've got for you, Cancer. You're more than welcome to check your other placements. Do leave a comment so you can go in the draw for that free personal reading. And we will move on to our Leos. Okay, Leo, what are the challenges facing Leo right now? What are the challenges coming through for our Leos? Okay. Interesting energy here, Leo. We do see here putting off feeling again. You can see, look, the box of emotions. We're going to close the lid on that. This guy says delayed grief, resistance, and shutdown. You knew it. You knew you ignored it. All right. So that kind of does refer back again to, putting those emotions on lockdown. You knew that you needed to deal with those emotions, but you've been ignoring them. It does sort of say intuition, ignorance, and self-betrayal, that you knew that you were going to have to deal with this at some point, Leo. You did know that these energy was there to be dealt with, that this was just a delay. It wasn't a solve all. That the more that I push those emotions away, the more that I try to lock them away in this box, they're going to explode. Look at that. They're going to explode eventually. Warning. I've put on this little eye mask trying to ignore them. I knew they were there. I was feigning ignorance. But now it feels like that's the challenge for you right now, is that a little bit of emotional shutdown, because bang, here come all those emotions all over again. The things that you've been trying to avoid dealing with, here they come again. It is retrograde as well for still just a little bit longer. And sometimes it's not people that come back around. Sometimes it's the feelings that we haven't dealt with properly. All right. How can Leo overcome this challenge? How can Leo overcome this challenge, please? Steady as she goes, Leo. Remain strong. Hold yourself steady through the storm. Know that this too shall pass, kind of thing. Like an anchor holding a ship steady through a storm. The anchor is there to, make sure that the ship doesn't float away and get lost in those emotions. It will help keep you steady there. So you just need to know that, I've just got to stay steady and ride it out kind of thing. Deal with these things now and ride it out, so that I can get through them, rather than avoiding them again to make this huge big explosion. We also see the child coming through there. So, you're really trying to deal with things in a very childlike kind of manner, where this is just part of the ride. It's just part of the ride. Like, I'm kind of getting like a roller coaster, that you're the needing to anchor yourself, which is kind of giving me this anchor yourself by holding on to the hand grips very, very, with the life or death grip on these roller coaster rails, because you know that the roller coaster is about to go like this, okay? But you need to try to kind of enjoy the ride, because, the scariness of it and the lows and the highs and the lows and the highs and the swirlies and the um, it's all part of the ride. Okay, so it's like I know that kind of, I'm not trying to devalue the things that you're going through and the grief that you're going through and things like that, but it's kind of asking you to remember that this is just part of the ride of life, that yes, sometimes it's going to be scary and we're going to be facing this big downhill dip, but then we've got to go back up again. There will be an up again, that in the long term you're going to look back at this in this is the lily here, emotional intimacy with oneself, and finding the dark humor. This is the dark humor deck. All right, the Dead Inside Oracle. It even says on here, black humor, real feelings, no enlightenment required. A darkly funny deck for spiritually exhausted people. All right, so that's where you're kind of at right now, and you're just having to kind of enjoy the ride and just understand that you will come back up that hill again, and and there's probably going to be some like crazy spirals or an upside down twist or something crazy, but the closer that you can be with that inner child that just accepts that this is all just part of the craziness of life, the more that you're going to be able to appreciate the dark humor in it all, and you're going to look back at this time in your life, 10, 20, 30 years from now, Leo, you're going to look back at this time in your life and you're going to be like, wow, that was a wild ride. I can't believe I survived that. I did so well. I held on strong and I got through that, and I'm so proud of myself for doing so. So hold on tight to those rails, Leo. You can get through this. Like every ride at a carnival or whatever, it does end. All right, it will end. The ride will come to a stop at some point. Yes, it may be very scary, but it may also be very thrilling as well. All right, sometimes the things that scare us are the things that excite us as well, so keep that in mind, Leo. It's all part of the adventure. That's what we have for you. Make sure you do leave a comment so you can go in the draw for that free personal reading, and we will move on over to our Virgos. Okay, Virgo, what are the challenges at the moment for our Virgos? Biggest challenge for our Virgos, please. Virgo. Virgo. Manifesting sleep. Spiritual fatigue, wishful thinking, burnout, naps. Do you see another reference here to look, here's a pillow in this guy's hands. Still not over it. Regret, looping thoughts, and lingering feelings. All right, so this is where that fatigue is coming from, the burnout is coming from, is because you're kind of still not over something, something that has sort of been looping through you, and it keeps popping back up again and popping back up again. And every time you think you're dealing with that, still hurts. I've got a bit of regret about the way that that all happened, or how I acted or reacted, or some lingering emotions there, and it is leading you to this spiritual fatigue, this emotional burnout that you're needing to, feeling as though for a lot of you, Virgo, you're probably feeling like, I just need some sleep, and you don't know why you're so tired right now. It's because you are subconsciously trying to deal with these things, but there's just some residual energy that is still needing to be worked through here. Virgo, how can Virgo overcome these challenges, please? How can Virgo overcome these challenges? Oh, it's super hot today, Virgo. Stir yourself up a bit. We have the stork coming through first here, Virgo. That's kind of, new ideas and new perspectives on the situation, seeing things from other perspectives, stirring it up a little bit. So actually facing the lingering feelings a little bit and stirring them up within you a little bit so that we can get that movement, get fresh ideas and on that baggage, you know, and what it is that we're holding on to. And maybe if I look at it from somebody else's perspective, or you know, for some of you needing to even talk to somebody else, because we do have the book here and the birds as well. So you know, the book is, you know, educating yourself more on those other perspectives or on other you know, it's kind of like that learning through other people is definitely coming through here, that you may actually be looking into things of like, well, if other people have gone through a similar sort of thing, how did they go through that, and how did they deal with that? And so you may be looking for, you know, education or learning on ways to deal with this, ways, other perspectives and new ideas on how to deal with these lingering feelings and this feeling of sort of burnout like that, because of something that you're still holding on to a little bit here. With the birds and the book here, for some of you, you may want to speak to a professional that may really, really help you, like a therapist and that kind of thing. That may be really, really useful tool for you at this point, to create those fresh perspectives and, you know, get an objective standpoint on the whole situation, and, you know, consider things from somebody else's point of view when it comes to, you know, what happened in that situation and how that played out. Unfortunately, I do feel as though there is the need to kind of rehash this a little bit within yourself so that you can sort of, you know, view it from, I'm kind of getting, you know, like, you're still very much holding on to this, Virgo. So you're still seeing this very muchly from the first person standpoint, right? If you stand back from the situation a little bit and, you know, remove yourself from that situation, then how do we see that situation? Then what are the, you know, taking the emotions and yourself away from that, then what is the logical, you know, observation of what happened there? Because there's just some, you know, alternate standpoints that you can, perspectives that you can view this situation from, that will actually really help you resolve this issue within yourself, and you know, remove this as a challenge for yourself. And definitely talking to others may really, really help you. Having a conversation with somebody about this situation really might help you see another perspective. Even if, you know, I'm picking up for one of you here that speaking to the person that hurt you for their perspective of, you know, because I feel like there's this thing that you're not understanding, Virgo, that yes, this person hurt you, but you hurt them as well. That's why you have regret, but you are only seeing it from your side. Okay, and there's always, you know, three sides to a story. There's your side, their side, and then the truth somewhere in the middle. So you need to find those other sides. And it will really help you see this situation a lot more clearly, and, you know, allow yourself to let go of it. All right. So sorry if that's a little bit confronting, Virgo, but that's what we've got for you. You make sure you do leave a comment on the video so you can go in the draw for that free personal reading. And we will move on over to Libra. Okay, Libra, what's the challenges Libra is facing? Okay, Libra, challenges Libra is facing, please. You knew, you ignored. Okay, this is a kind of a warning against ignoring your intuition. So it says intuition, ignorance, and self-betrayal. So there's something that you're already aware of the challenge, but the challenge is the fact that you're avoiding the challenge, because your intuition's trying to tell you already, and you're kind of like la 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 la, can't see that. But we also see the social battery at 0. Okay, drained, antisocial, and shut down. So I feel like for a lot of you, it's, you know, that you just don't have anything to give right now. I'm picking up on a very specific scenario here, Libra, where you know that your social battery is at 0 and you go out and spend time with friends anyway. knowing that you just do not have the capacity at the moment to deal with that, that you need time to yourself or whatever that is. You're ignoring your intuition that's telling you, just stay at home, Libra. You don't have to go out and, do everything all the time. But you kind of ignored that. And then you have a run-in with somebody and it escalates out of control because you're drained and you're feeling very antisocial at the moment, and you're already shut down, and so you can't give 100% to this potential issue, and so it sort of escalates out of control, there was a warning there that you should have just stayed at home in the first place, because you knew that you didn't have the capacity to deal with that, if that were to pop up. So you forced yourself to go on out anyway and spend time with others anyway. So that's what I'm getting as the biggest challenge for you here. But we'll see what wants to come through, Libra, in regard to how can Libra overcome this challenge. How can Libra overcome these challenges, please? Straight away, we see the ship and the scythe coming through here. So the ship is about travel and, moving forward and the journey, the forcing yourself to go out, I suppose, in this sort of sense. And the scythe tells us to cut it out, cut out the travel, cut out the journey, cut out the, break yourself free from the need to, always be on the move. All right. That will allow sudden unexpected change, replenishing that energy to come through for you. You need to be a little bit more aware of this Lily's energy. You need to be a little bit, listen to yourself and be a little bit more emotionally intimate with oneself, and know when you do need to break free from the need to travel towards others or travel out and about and be out. Moving at all. I kind of feel like for a lot of you just need to sit at home and veg out on the couch, because at the end of the day, this is long-term energy. So this could create long-term issues for you if you don't address yourself and the need to be still and be chill for a minute here. Okay, so you need to, be a little bit more aware of your vulnerabilities, and that it's okay to have those, and it's okay to just stop. When you know that you're ignoring that intuition that's telling you, Libra, you need to just chill. All right, so maybe do the opposite of that and listen to that intuition when it's telling you, no, you don't need to go out, you don't need to do that, you don't need to travel, you don't need to go there, you don't need to, move so much. All right, I am getting the words move so much. So for some of you, it's not even to do with the social battery. It's to do with the pushing yourself too hard, just in general, when it comes to movement in general. Okay, so keep that in mind, Libra. But make sure you do leave a comment so you can go in the draw for that free personal reading. And we will move on over to Scorpio. Scorpio, what are the challenges for our Scorpios right now? What challenges is Scorpio facing, please? Ooh, Scorpio, we have convincing yourself it is fine. Even when it's not, right? You're sitting there, everything's fine, I'm not on fire, everything's fine. We all know that meme, right? Normally it's the little dog with the coffee in the fire. Denial, emotional suppression. I did pick up that same meme in a recent reading. I think it was in the singles reading somewhere. So it may have even been you guys. So or Sagittarius maybe. But we also have overthinking hour. Look at you, staying up all night, overthinking, racing thoughts, insomnia, and loops. Allowing your mind to go on these loops of like, and it's creating, like, you can see all the tangled thoughts it's creating there, the confusion that it's creating for you. And then you're trying to put on this front like everything's fine, I'm totally fine. But, deep down that that you're not, because at nighttime you cannot sleep because of all these racing thoughts about everything that's going on for you right now. So in your head, it is not fine at all. But you are trying to put on a bit of a front at the moment, Scorpio. So that's the biggest challenge you're facing right now. Let's see how can Scorpio overcome these challenges. How can Scorpio overcome these challenges, please? Firstly, we have the moon. Okay, so trusting your intuition a little bit more and sitting with your emotions. Okay, because rather than sitting there going, it's fine, I don't have any emotions, you actually need to sit with those emotions a little bit more. Instead of suppressing them, sit with them. And that doesn't mean that you have to actually do anything or heal from them or anything like that. It's just accepting that they exist, Scorpio. This is how I feel. This is why I'm overthinking so much. We also see the flowers coming through there, the bouquet. So, this is giving yourself time, space, energy, love, compassion, understanding. All right, so that you can receive that masculine energy in a less spiraling out of control, overthinking way. Okay, the masculine is thoughts. It's very rational and logical, but you're allowing your rational and logical thoughts to lead to this tangled thinking, the greater confusion, because you're sort of overdoing it a little bit here and allowing those thoughts to spiral out of control. You're overthinking, whereas you need to be a little bit more balanced here, giving to the emotions so that we can have this balance. This is reciprocal energy, give and take, between the emotions and the logic and the thinking. That we need to have that give and take there between our emotions and our logic, and that will allow us to become a little bit more rational in regards to these racing thoughts. We're tempering them with the acknowledgement of our emotional, the reasoning behind the emotions and the logic and all the overthinking. Right? There's emotional reasons behind that overthinking, and you're not allowing yourself space to give to those emotions, but it's causing those thoughts to spiral, because you're not accepting the emotional component of those. Okay, so that might mean different things for different parts of the collective there, but that's what it's letting us know for you, Scorpio. Make sure you do leave a comment so you can go in the draw for that free personal reading, and we will move on over to our Sagittarius. Okay, just scratching my nose. Sagittarius. What's the challenges Sagittarius is facing right now? Challenges for our Sagittarius, please. Ooh, okay. Invited but not wanted. Feeling a little bit left out in the cold here. Exclusion, misfit, emotional distance. Bruh, even your spirit guide quit. Disillusionment, abandonment. So you are in a bit of a feeling alone kind of challenge at the minute. Feeling as though you're excluded, that you don't fit in with everybody else, that you've been abandoned by everybody, that you have nobody that understands or whatever. Even your spirit guides don't even understand at the moment. Even God or the universe doesn't understand at the moment. But that is actually a little bit of disillusionment, okay, Sagittarius, because what we're seeing is invited but not wanted. And we're seeing, disillusionment here as well. So this is sort of saying that you were still invited. You're not as big of a misfit as you think you are. What part of yourself is telling yourself that rather than that being the actual truth? Why, because it does say emotional distance. What part of this challenge for you, Sagittarius, is you actually pushing yourself away from others? And what part of this is like, I don't think for a lot of you that this is actually real, so to speak. Like, you may feel that way. I'm not discounting that at all, but feeling excluded, or there may have even been signs of exclusion or being, not fitting in and things like that. But at the end of the day, you're exaggerating that in your own self, or you're creating that to be a bigger issue than it actually is. So there's a little bit of self-confrontation coming through here, Sagittarius. How can Sagittarius overcome this challenge, please? How can Sagittarius overcome this challenge? Interesting, because firstly we see the stars coming through, followed by the mice. All right, so the mice does tell us to look to the past a little bit here. And what is it that, what is it about goals or dreams or wishes that you feel weren't met when it comes to these sorts of situations? What, goals did not transpire, or you lost a chance with somebody, or, I thought I was going to be, I thought this social gathering was going to be like this and this and this. So what was the goal that was not achieved? What was the wish for that situation that you feel as though you didn't actually get to? Because there's just something there about, I'm just kind of feeling for some of you here, there is this message about unrealistic expectations on others. That it's like you went to a social gathering and you were invited, like for example, you were invited to a wedding and you went along to a wedding and you thought, before you went to this wedding, you thought, oh, this is going to happen and this person's going to talk to me and that person's going to talk to me, and, the bride and the groom are both going to mention me in their speeches, because I'm such, like, I hate to break it to you, Sagittarius, but did you have higher expectations than reality? And then when you got to this wedding, you realized, oh, look, there's 100 other people here. The bride and groom don't mention me in their speeches and you're left feeling like, oh, maybe I'm not as important in their life as I thought I was. But you still are. They also have all these other people that are important to them as well. And it's kind of just bringing you back to reality a little bit, but you've kind of gone a little bit further than that with it and made yourself feel as though, oh, I'm a total misfit. No one wants to, I wasn't even wanted here because, the bride and the groom, they didn't even have time to talk to me. But it's like, it's a wedding. They had so much other stuff. Like, because I'm just getting this energy here, and I hate to call you out, but it's like this disillusionment energy of like, your expectations were a little bit overachieving, disillusioned about how high you're setting things. Like you're setting yourself as more. Now I'm hearing Tyler Tarot say, you're just not that important, which, that's a harsh way of putting it, I suppose. But it's not that you're not important, Sagittarius. It's just that you maybe, of course, if you go to somebody's wedding, they are the center of the show. That you can't go to someone else's wedding and think that everyone's going to be looking at you and wanting to talk to you because it is their wedding. Does that make sense? Like, we see the clover coming through as well. Take a chance, take a risk to ignore this little part of yourself that's saying, I don't fit in, I'm a misfit. Take a chance to find the middle ground and like take a chance that, maybe thinking about it from their point of view, maybe they were just busy. They were at their wedding. They had so much other things to do that, you don't know what else was going on behind the scenes that they were having to take care of and, sort out the aunt that got too drunk and all this other, you didn't know all of that stuff, so maybe take a chance on giving someone the benefit of the doubt here, and that they're not intentionally trying to make you feel like you're an outcast here, because you're not. You're actually not an outcast here. It's partly because you are putting up this blockade between yourself and the situation. You kind of distancing yourself a little bit here, Sagittarius. So I am very sorry to call you out like that, but that's what's coming through in the energy, okay? But that's what we have for you. More than welcome to check out your other placements, all right? And do leave a comment, and, even if it's to tell me that's not right, that's totally fine. Every comment, you will go in the draw for the free reading, okay, all through November. So do leave a comment. Make sure you subscribed as well, so you can yell at me later as well. Love it. We will move on over to Capricorn. Capricorn, what are the challenges that you are facing? Challenges in the way of our Capricorn collective, please. Oh, Capricorn. As if this is not a Capricorn energy. Putting off feeling again. Look at you boxing up those emotions. Trying to stop them from exploding by locking them away in a little box and putting them in the bottom of your heart. Delayed grief, resistance, shut down. But then look, you're crying in the shower. Isolation, breakdown, vulnerability. So the emotions are still there, Capricorn. And the more that you try to push them down and push them away, the more you end up, crying in the shower, having this absolute breakdown, because all of a sudden all those feelings just exploded or out of that box, and I can't deal with them because there's too much. Capricorn. Delaying that grief. I kind of get it too, Capricorn, because a lot of you here, you'd rather cry in the shower because no one can see you crying, right? And you can't even tell you're crying because your tears blend into the water. Oh, and then you can still deny the feelings because, no, that was just, I'm not crying. It's the shower making me cry. The steam, Capricorn. A lot of resistance to facing how you really feel right now, Capricorn. I just want to get one to elaborate what Capricorn's avoiding here. Oh, we have the cross. Responsibilities, burdens on your shoulders that are you've taken on board a lot of emotions from others as well here. You're feeling like you're responsible for a lot of people that are not just yourself, Capricorn. There's also this energy of, that the cross does talk about destiny and spirituality and having faith. And for some of you, that's what's making you cry the most, is that, why do I have faith in something when I have so much doubt? That, you're avoiding the feelings of doubt and, that you losing faith in something, someone, that there's such a heavy emotional burden on you that, but for some reason you've got this, this typical Capricorn, stubborn, perseverant determination to take care of them anyway, because I have faith in you. I have faith that it'll all be okay. For some of you, this is, putting off the emotions about this being unfair, that the universe, it's unfair because I've had so much faith in everything working out, and why isn't it working out? I just want to yell and scream at the universe, but I'm not. I'm just going to cry in the shower instead. Capricorn, some interesting energy there. How can Capricorn overcome this challenge, please? How can Capricorn overcome this challenge? Fight it out, Capricorn. Fight it out. We have the whip coming through first. Conflict arguments. For some of you, you may need to have the conflict. You may need to have the argument. You may need to face the drama in order to get through the drama, to resolve the conflict. Once you have the conflict, you can then resolve it. For some of you, I'm getting some of you, like, I'm a Capricorn myself, okay? And been having some interesting conversations with people recently about, there's this very, very interesting sect of, readers and spirituality where, it's like, oh, the universe just loves you and wants to do the best for you. And, you talk to the universe in all the lovely, positive ways and da-da-da. And here's me, a big believer in sometimes you need to yell at the universe because sometimes it is unfair. And you kind of maybe stopping yourself thinking, oh, but I've the universe, I just got to have faith in God and I've just got to trust and, uh, you know, it, if the universe is going to talk back to you, it's going to talk back the way you talk to it too, right? Sometimes you need to show the universe how important something is to you through your passion, your fire, your yelling, your screaming, your crying, your absolute fed up with this. One of my friends lately has been saying, I think the universe might be a narcissist. I'm just going to leave that there. You need to bring the conflict about your wishes, your goals. Fight for them. Fight for your wishes and your goals, Capricorn. Even if it means you have to, oh my gosh, I even said this yesterday. Even if it means you have to yell and scream at the universe and say, I'm going to come up there and claw my stars down from the sky if you don't give them to me. Maybe that's what needs to be said, needs to be done right now is I'm a Capricorn and I'm going to fight tooth or nail to make sure my wishes and my goals are achieved. I want my wishes to come true, so I'm going to whip you into shape and make you give me my wishes come true, universe, God. It's a transformation, Capricorn. We have the coffin here. Something needs to come to an end. Something needs to die in order to have a rebirth, have a new beginning. Transformation. So for some of you, that's partly a transforming the wish. All right. Which once again, it keeps giving me personal references here. Because I recently said to the universe, well, if you're not going to give me the thing I want the most, you better show me the money. Where's the money? I've been watching, Spiritual Cowboy on Instagram. She's got a really funny little reel where she's like, show me the money. So maybe that's the wish that we're transforming. That's it. I'm over it. You're not giving me what I want. So that's it. Don't even worry about that. Show me the money. Give me something better. Show me that show me that there's a reason. Show me that there's a reason to have faith in you, universe. Prove it. Demand it. I demand it. Sometimes we need to end the flattery and the sweetness and the BS and the because life is real. Life is real. It's not always puppies and rainbows and butterflies. Life is real. Sometimes the messages we get are not butterflies floating by. Sometimes it's something, a bunch of rotting flowers can be just as important a message as a butterfly floating on by. And I think, Capricorn, it's time to maybe have a bit of a look at ending the sucking up to God and transform that into demanding, being a little bit more Capricorn towards God, the universe. You've very high expectations and demanding of everyone else in your life. You're very high expectations and demanding of yourself. Why are you not like that with God, with the universe, Mother Earth? Some food for thought there, Capricorn. But make sure you do leave a comment on the video so that you can go in the draw for that free personal reading. And we will move on over to Aquarius. Okay. Aquarius. What's the challenge that Aquarius is facing? Aquarius, what's your challenge? Yeah. Wake, work, scroll, repeat. The monotony of life, Aquarius. Burnout cycle, routine collapse. All right. Social battery at 0. That you're drained, antisocial, and shut down. You're ready to shut down. Life has just become monotony. I just can't do this day in, day out. I'm over it. That is your biggest challenge right now, Aquarius, finding a break in amongst it all. How can Aquarius overcome this challenge, please? How can Aquarius overcome this challenge? Love in your heart. We have the heart. I feel like this is actually talking about, spending time with people and things that you love, doing something that you love, that you are passionate about, rather than doing the same old work. Actually go out of your way to make time specifically for something that you love. Okay, or someone that you love. Even if you have to call in sick, do you know what? Today I'm going to call in sick, and what's the thing I love? I love cooking, so I'm going to spend the whole day cooking instead. I haven't been doing my art or that hobby. I haven't done that for a while, and I absolutely love doing that. So I'm just going to call in sick and do that all day. I love animals, so I'm going to take a day off and go to the zoo. Whatever that is for you, spend some time doing something that you actually love, not something that's part of your monotony, something that you love, all right, that you're passionate about. We see the snake here, so there's passion with the snake as well. This is the temptation to throw it all in. If we're going to deceive ourselves that we're going to have to keep doing this for the rest of our lives, we may as well follow some temptation of our heart when we have to replenish. It's kind of telling us that, trust in even if you have to. I do feel like the deception is you saying, I'm sick, I can't come to work today, I'm sick. I do feel as though it's a little white lie kind of deception like that, that's coming through with that snake. Ultimately, it's all about, I'm tempted to not go to work today, so do you know what? I'm not going to go to work today. I'm going to tell a little white lie and not go. I'm going to do something I love instead. I'm going to focus on my own heart space. Even if my heart space wants me to sleep all day, that's what I'm going to do. Following my own passion, trusting my own desires for once, taking a chance to invest on myself. We have the clover there as well. So, jumping in the deep end of investing in yourself and investing in things that you love. Pardon me. You're not allowing this to continue. All right, so you got to replenish those batteries somehow, right? So that's what we've got for you, Aquarius. Pretty simple to the point one for you there. But make sure you do leave a comment so you can go in the draw for that free personal reading. We will move on over to our Pisces. Okay, Pisces, what's the challenge our Pisces is facing? Biggest challenge coming in for our Pisces right now, please. Whoa. Okay, Pisces, obviously. Thought it was a vibe. Red flags, fantasy, false hope. And then you're telling yourself, faking confidence again. Don't panic. Insecurity, pretense, self-doubt. So, you thought it was a vibe, but it's now leading you into this this self-doubt of like, well, why did I have this false hope in something? You know, that why did I ignore those red flags? Why did I believe this fantasy? You know, what am I doing wrong? You know, there's this nervous panic behind everything at the moment that, well, if I thought that was a vibe, then, you know, does that mean that everything else that I think is a vibe is wrong too? There's this a lot of fear coming through there as well, this insecure fear that if I thought that was something important, then is everything wrong? Like, it's kind of having this flow-on effect. It's one specific thing that you maybe made a mistake, Pisces, and you ignored some red flags or something along those lines, and believed a fantasy for a moment there, but you're allowing it to flow on to everything else, and now you're sort of doubting you and everything else along with that, where it was just this one thing. Pisces, how can Pisces overcome this challenge, please? How can Pisces overcome this challenge? Seeing a lot of stability. So we see the house coming through first. For some of you, you need to, spend some time with family, people and things that make you feel safe and secure. You're just needing to find that sense of safety again, that comfort zone again. Get back to your comfort zone a little bit here. We have the birds in the center there as well. So for a lot of you, this is, having conversations with people that make you feel safe and secure. For some of you, family conversations, but also in order to find that safety and emotional security, some of you may want to have a conversation with, this may actually be a therapist. Sometimes this does talk about therapists with that bird's energy there, because that's, professional wisdom to help you maintain your sense of stability, emotionally and within your self-confidence as well. We do find the Tower here as well. So, that this is, it's kind of shaking you to the core, this whole thing. So it is important for you to rebuild that foundation within yourself of safety and security, that comfort zone, rebuild that comfort zone all over again. But you may need to just sort of isolate yourself for a little bit of time here, Pisces. Take yourself away from the issues. And, it's kind of this energy of, because we've got this faking the confidence energy there, that, you don't need to fake it. You can take yourself away from it and not have to put on this fake front, Pisces, that I'm fine, just because when you're by yourself, you don't have to be fine. You don't have to, underneath it all, I'm panicking, but, you can just panic. Panic at the disco, right? But it says don't panic. So maybe don't panic at the disco, because you're not going to the disco. You're at home by yourself, finding that stability and security in that comfort zone again. All right. So this is a blanket fort. Go and build yourself a little blanket fort and hide out for a couple of days, Pisces. Do you know what? It's totally fine to do that. It is totally fine to do that until you can find that security in yourself and stop doubting yourself. Okay. That seems to be what is needed for you right now, is just, isolating yourself from the people that you feel as though you've got to put on a front for, all right, that you thought were a vibe that ended up to be a false hope. Just isolate yourself from those people. It's totally fine to do that sometimes. All right, but that's what we've got for you today, Pisces. Make sure you do leave a comment so you go in the draw for that free personal reading, and I will see you all again soon.